you watch the game Monday night, and what did you think, just what you saw Lamar doing at the end?
Yeah, I did, and that's an incredible comeback, and that's a very tough team. And like we've seen on film for the past couple of weeks, they're a really impressive team, and they're never out of the game. And as good as their defense is, their offense is on a whole nother level. And both sides of the ball are incredibly well coached. They've got some great athletes, so it's going to take a lot from us.
What do you think about Lamar Jackson?
Could you be like?
Oh, sorry. What do you think about Lamar Jackson? Obviously as a quarterback, obviously you've seen him play before, but what do you think about him as a quarterback?
I think he's able to do everything. He can run, he can throw, and I don't think his game through the air gets enough credit. I think he's able to throw the ball extremely well, and he's able to do everything. And if the protection breaks down, he's able to get out of there and make plays that no one else on this planet can make. So I know the defense is working hard. They're doing their best to watch as much film as they can and get a good beat for their offense.
Justin, with Mike Williams being questionable, he can still play, but if he doesn't, I think it could be an opportunity for Josh Palmer. What do you have seen from him throughout his rookie year so far?
Yeah, Josh Palmer's made plays, and he's one of those guys that has worked really hard, has picked up the offense very well. We feel really comfortable with him going in there, and he's able to make plays, and he's smart. He's physical, and he's aggressive, and he does a great job in the run game blocking, and he runs some really good routes. And so he's a guy that we really believe in.
And Justin, you're playing really well. With the new scheme with Lombardi, it takes time to kind of get in a groove. Do you kind of feel like you're in a groove, and maybe you're playing a little faster on the field? You know all the groupings and personnel.
I think we've had just a really good plan. From the offensive line to the receivers, the running backs, everyone's been tied in very well. Everyone's been really well coached, and I think that's the plan for each week. And it's always about the next week. And no matter how the game goes, it's always about moving on and moving on to the next one. And the running backs have done a great job in pass protection. The linemen they've handled all the blitzes and the fronts that teams have played against us. And I think the receivers have made plays, and the tight ends too. So those guys have done a great job.
Just what are the biggest challenges that this Baltimore defense presents to you guys?
They're going to bring a bunch of different looks. They do a great job disguising, bringing pressures, and tricking you into thinking it's coming from one way, bringing it from the other way. And they're really well coached. They play really sound football, and they've got some guys that fly around and play really good defense. So a couple great corners, some good linebackers that can really match the running backs, and those guys play really downhill, and they can really tackle very well.
Hey Justin, you're able to scramble around and kind of make plays off schedule with your feet, and you got in the end zone last week. Do you enjoy kind of running for a touchdown as much as you enjoy throwing a long pass?
I think as long as we're scoring, that's the most important part. Whether it's me, Austin Eckler, Keenan out, it doesn't matter. As long as we're getting the end zone, I think that's the most important thing for our offense.
Justin, Ravens defensive coordinator Don Martindale, I don't know if you've heard what he said about you, but he said that he feels like you could throw a strawberry through a battleship. What do you think about that?
I just hope he meant in a nice way. I've got a lot of respect for him and his defense, so I just hope he meant in a nice way.
Oh, yeah, he said that you have a strong arm.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, then I really appreciate the kind words, and I appreciate that.
Is that the strangest metaphor you've ever heard for your game?
I'm sure I've heard stranger. I think that's probably a pretty common term that maybe we don't hear too often. But I appreciate that, and I've got a lot of respect for his team and his defense.
Hey Justin, in what ways have the game slowed down for you? Obviously, you had a spectacular rookie season, and then coming to this season, you really haven't missed a step, it doesn't appear. But in what ways do you feel you're getting better?
I don't know if it's slowed down yet. I think it's still an incredibly fast game, and the way the defenses play and how fast and physical those guys are on defense, it's never easy. And I feel like we've had a good plan each week, and you're always about getting better and continuing to improve. And as long as we're, being secure with the ball, not turning it over, and giving our guys a shot to have completions to yards after catch, I think that puts our team in a good position. And my whole job is always to get the guys that make the plays the ball. Just give them the ball, and they'll make something special happen. So it's always about watching film, getting better, and learning from my mistakes. And I think experience is probably the best teacher.
Justin, going off the special plays, we had a nice throw to Keenan Allen on 35. I think it was 37 yards. Thinking back to that play, I think you were running for a little bit. You kind of maybe jumped a little bit. You threw it to Keenan for a great grab.
Yeah, I think that's just one of those drills that we rep all the time, scramble drills, and guys knowing if the pocket breaks down this way and the quarterback escapes, to keep it friendly, to find an angle, and to be able to spread out all five receivers so that something good can happen. And Keenan's just got a great feel for that, and he sees the defender go low, so he goes high, creates enough separation for me to give him the ball, and he makes an incredible catch.
Did you see Coach Staley's thing Wednesday when he was asked about the John Gruden situation?
I have not yet.
It was just that he had a statement that was pretty, it went viral and stuff. I was just wondering if you'd seen that. Have you seen any of his news conferences with us are starting to get kind of legendary? Have you got any wind of that, or have you noticed that or heard about that at all, or no?
I haven't heard too much about it, but I might have to go check it out after this, though.
Yeah, I was just curious if, yeah, it's pretty good.
He's got some incredible team meetings, so that doesn't surprise me one bit.
Your copious note-taking has been a big news, if you will. When you go into a game with a team you haven't faced before, I don't think you faced the Ravens. Do you start from scratch, a blank notebook, or are you picking styles and plays that other coaches have implemented that you see on the workbook? Talk to us a little bit about that.
Yeah, I always start with a blank notebook for teams that we haven't played. But you get teams like the Raiders and the Chiefs, the teams that you have played, and you've already got a couple pages of notes. So you can look back on those for coverages, pressures, things that you've already identified. But for this Ravens teams, I haven't played them yet, so it's kind of a fresh start for me. And watching all film this week, getting a good beat for that, so that we do have a chance to win on Sunday.
Justin, going back to Brandon, could you still go with his words and his post-game speeches, or even hear when he's talking to us? I guess how big is that for the team to kind of believe in the coach, like the things he's saying, that you don't tune him out and you actually get a boost off of that?
Yeah, he's an incredible leader, and he really knows what he's talking about. And he's, from day one, he came in here talking about relationships and building that trust with everyone. And he's definitely established that early on in his career. And he's one of those guys that we really want to fight for, we want to play for. And he's got the respect of all those guys in that locker room.